Hey, welcome back, everyone. We now have Captains Lewis and Clark and General Anya with me, so we're gonna start a process now of driving these horses. We're gonna go through harnessing, tacking up, and then hooking up, and then just some general driving and just playing with these guys a little bit. Anya's, her sister's got extensive, and I would call her probably an expert. She's winning World Grand Championships with her horses. Then she should be here and not me. Let's put it that way.
She should be here and not me. I mean, this is a new experience for me.
That's great. Well, and I'll be honest with you, my driving experience is limited. I haven't done a ton of it. I'm no expert at it. I know how. I know enough probably to be dangerous. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to learn a lot as we do this. I got the basics. I know some of what to do. I also know that there are a lot of different types of harness. There are, as you can see here, we have collars with hames to pull the load from the front. You also have simple harnesses, light harness for like surreys and small buggies that are nothing more than a breast collar and a girth belly band. So and different terminology is different. Some of them are similar between this kind of harness and a pack saddle harness. Similar function, but different the way it's laid out. And all of these harnesses, it seems, whether you're in the U.S. or different parts of the U.S. or using different types of harness, terminology of parts, it's the same part but a different name. So for those, if you know something about this and you're watching, I hope you don't cringe too much. But at the same time, we also know that when I say something, it's kind of a local name for something and not necessarily what's going on in your country or you're part of this country, but it's a similar function. So we'll do the best we can, and we'll just learn that, hey, we call things different things by different names, but it still does the same function. And there's a lot of harness, a lot of horses, a lot of oxen that are used in a lot of parts of the country all over the world they're a mainstay. They're still just as important then as they were here 150 years ago. So with that, we'll get started.
Sounds great.
How about if I tack one of them up first, and we'll use this to the camera, maybe we'll swap them, but we've got...
that sounds great.
Yeah, Captain Lewis is here with his harness. Clark is here with his. And so what we'll do is we'll probably tack here so that we can see it in the camera, and then we'll just swap when we're ready. So Anya's going to grab a collar, and these collars are very, very similar. There you go. And we'll do Clark up, and I'll walk you through this, or we'll do it together.
Wait, is that Lewis?
This is Lewis.
Yep. So you're doing Lewis.
We're doing Lewis first, so we got the camera here. So here's his collar, and this has a buckle on each side. It's adjustable, so you want that collar to fit their neck well and fit it right. And I've got some harness at home that is large enough on a large enough horse that I don't even have to unbuckle it. I actually take the harness or the collar and just to demonstrate, and I just leave it here, and I can slip it over his face and then turn it, put it down his neck and hang it on there. But this is always probably a better way to do this. And this slips up inside, buckles down, and you can adjust this for their size because it's got the adjustments on both sides. And then this sets up even. You got the after whale part of this collar and a fore whale that the hame sits down in here. We'll get a little bit ahead of ourselves, but you want to have a little bit of a gap here. You don't want to choke them, but they pull in with their shoulders. And so that's where this is going to pull from and distribute the weight of the wagon with our weight over the shoulder, just as you would a saddle with bars where you distribute the weight over the top of their back when you're riding them. So not a big deal. All right, so now let's grab the harness, and we always put this up, and you'll notice Anya's putting this on her arm, and then slipping the britch in, and then the gig saddle, and now the hames, and then you can just slip it right back over. And it looks like a mess, and it is, but it's really quite manageable when you put this stuff up right and put it up orderly. There we go. All right. And some of this go. Is okay, there's our rein.
Are we tangled down here?
A little bit. We've got this, and see, one of us.
There we go.
This over. There we go. And this is so easy to do. So easy to get tangled. So, you notice she put the hames on, and that's this metal part. And this is going to be kind of a test, because I'm going to kind of do this one primarily, and then Anya's going to do the next one with me kind of standing back and just kibitzing a little bit. All right, so you put the hames on in front of the after whale, in front of the fore whale of the collar, and it's really just a big groove in here. And this is your hames strap, and it just connects the two parts of this metal, the hames, and it tightens down. So that really connects the pulling part of the harness to the collar without putting any weight or strain on his shoulder, so that all of the pull is bore onto the collar itself. And this is called, for what I've always called this, or we've called this, is a gig saddle, or even a back pad in some cases. Some people call it different things, but some of them have different configurations here. We do have a light harness that's got two rings here that are rein turrets that you can run your reins through the length of the harness for the saddle as well. So this has a harness on it, and it's called, that's part's the belly band, and I'm hooking up the tug to that, and that's how it's held on. And these are a little bit undersized because these guys were very portly when they were first purchased, and so Suzanne has done a good job of maintaining and watching their weight. They're lighter than most ponies, which is great because these guys thrive and get fat on fresh air and water. So this is the pull strap, and I'm going to put this over the top of the belly band and bring it over. And then on each side, we have a quarter strap that we hook in. There you go. And that comes from the britchin. And these are, well, I call these carrier straps. Sometimes they call them hip straps. Different names. Here's the back pad, or the whole thing's called a spider. Same thing in a pack saddle as a spider when it's all in its entirety. But you've taken this quarter strap, which is also in a pack saddle, and hooked it under and attached to the pull strap. And what that does is provides the ability to, when they stop and the pull goes forward as you push, you'll notice the britchin pulls, and that's how you stop if you don't have brakes. So that is your brake without a manual brake on your cart. So the belly band is done.
Yep.
He's basically set up just that quick. And these are no longer, sometimes they call them reins. We always call them lines. So when you're riding, they're called a rein, and when you're driving, they're called a line. Serves the same function, and we will hook those up once we get the head stalls on them. All right, so let's do this. Let's just move these guys out of the way and swap places.
Oh, sorry, I was going to back
you're
up
good.
for you.
You're good. And now Anya can walk us through this, and I'll help her, and we'll be gentle because there is a lot of terminology here and a lot of stuff that you can sure get messed up on, and we won't downgrade her or give her even a B. We're going to give her an A for effort right off the bat. That takes the pressure off.
Well, I appreciate your optimism. All right, so we have our collar here. We're going to loosen this up. And Braden, it's interesting that you mentioned that with some bigger horses, you know, sometimes you can put the collar on without having to unbuckle it. And I remember back growing up, my stepfather had a group of Belgians that he used on a hay wagon, and that's how he would throw them on them. I mean, he would just rotate them over their heads, which surprised me because, you know, Belgians have such big heads. Right,
but they've also got big necks and big shoulders, so it compensates. It's all relative to size, right? And I think we could slip this on him pretty easily and still have the same thing. He might kind of squeeze his head through there a little bit, but it's all about training them and getting used to it too. But yeah, it's all, the size is relative. All right.
Let me go over here and grab this whole shebang. So I learned that.
Yeah, loading that onto her arms.
So this is a trick that I learned not too long ago. If you hang it up in the same way that you then want to put it on your
Correct.
pony or horse.
Now, what I would do, what we didn't do is I would just come from the back.
Okay.
And just set it on and just slide everything forward. There you go.
Okay.
And I try not to lay the hames because that's metal on their back anywhere. There you go. Just keep working it up. Good job.
I think maybe I just don't have the arm reach that you do.
I got arms like a monkey, so.
And you know, I'm just
and look at it. It's there. All you got to do now is buckle it up.
Just adjust it. So the spider. That was a new term for me when you just refer to this as the spider.
Well, and that's all of it. That's the carrier straps or hip straps, the breechin and the quarter straps, along with your back pad. That whole thing is called a spider. Because when you hold it up, it's got about 8 legs sticking out.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, it makes sense. Are we tucked over there?
Yep. Under the hames. There we go. And these lines can get in the way. And this is something, these lines are put up with the harness. At home, most of my harness is put up without the lines on them. The lines are left attached to the headstall.
Okay.
Just a different way to do it. I like this because it's all right there as well. But now you just have to thread that through, but you can get these kind of tangled up. They kind of become wayward at times because they're all over.
Tangled here.
Looped everywhere. All right.
All right, bear with me as I'm walking around making,
No, you're good.
This here is tangled. There we go.
Pull that through. There you go. And see, just like that, even though you put them away as correctly as you possibly can, look at how they can still get tangled. And then I'm going to just help you out and set the center of this for you.
Thank you. I was going to loop it through and then get back up to make sure we're centered here.
And then once we're completely harnessed up, then we'll kind of go over the parts of this and how they work. I think that's kind of important to understand. Once you do it, it's pretty intuitive, but when you look at it to begin with this pile of harness, you look at that and you go, holy cow, what a mess. Where's all that go? And it's the more you work with it, the easier it gets. And you can sure get rusty at it too. I mean,
oh yeah, I can't even imagine with all these straps and everything. So we're looking good there.
You are looking great. Good. And I'll just hook this quarter strap for you because I know you're already on that one.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There you go. Pull strap over the top of your gig set or your belly band. And then your quarter strap hooked in.
Thank you.
All right.
And then so make sure my lines here.
There we go.
So what is this? Is this going to go, is this my check rein to go to the headstall?
That is your overcheck.
Okay.
Yep. Correct.
Overcheck, yep.
Yep. And there's side check, there's overcheck. I mean, there's all kinds of different terminology again. So let's kind of look through this from one side. I think the camera looks good. So this here is your tug on your trace. And your trace is what is the thick, heavy line or strap that really takes the pull onto the collar from the cart. So you've got a tug, and it's connected to the hames directly.
Okay.
And there's different terminology for that. Some call it just an attachment. Some call it a tug point. There's all kinds of names. And if you don't want to remember those, make up your own.
I'm good at that.
And then this tug, this trace is attached, and this is just an attachment point right here on your hip, on your spider. This is a heel chain, and this is what actually attaches to your single tree on your harness. And you'll notice with our configuration, we've got 2 single trees because each animal gets hooked to a single tree. You got 2 single trees. Well, those have to hang to a single bar, which is called an evener. And that's what keeps your pulling evenly, and so you're not banging both sides. One can lag a little bit or lead, and it'll still pull, but then you try to even those out or keep them together, keep them even. So your breechin is basically your brake, and you just pull her tail out from under there. And these guys have lost a little weight, and we're on the extension of our or the smallest setting we can get on our straps. So these guys are well trained. Years ago, they're really good. I'm not concerned at all about any issues when I'm putting a foot through there, but normally you would want to do that. You would want to continue to keep those tightened up, and I think Suzanne is we're going to get some measurements for her for that belly band to make it smaller.
So
like
normally, if we hadn't lost all of our COVID weight, our belly band would just be resting loosely, maybe a finger or two?
Just a finger under,
okay.
finger or two under,
Okay.
just so it's kind of tight,
Yep.
but it's holding up on your pull strap, which goes over the top to kind of hold it up to your quarter straps, which attaches to your breeching. So, yeah, you want to just not loose, but like a back cinch. Normally I ride tight or snug on a saddle. A lot of people just have a slight belly or opening. That's fine. It's just a belly band. It's not really a cinch. So we are just that quick, ready to put some bridles on them.
Great.
And
I'll go grab those.
Yeah, grab, and we'll talk about the parts of that too. These guys are so nice. They're just calm. I think they actually, I believe, enjoy this work because, just standing around doing nothing all the time kind of gets a little boring, and it does for them too. As long as you don't work them too hard, and you can overwork a draft animal. And there's a small draft or miniature draft. They're not minis, but they're small Shetland draft, and you can certainly overwork them to where they don't like it. And there we go. It's just like a regular bridle, except it's got a face piece.
Hi, little buddy. Oh.
Ooh.
Look at you trying to sneak away.
Maybe he doesn't want to enjoy this. I was just talking about how well they like to enjoy it. And,
you spoke too soon.
He's saying no.
I'm saying not today, maybe.
There you go. All right. And you notice they've got these covers on their bridles. Those sometimes some places call them blinders. We call them blinkers. And it prevents the horse from seeing what's behind them. The theory is that, what is behind me is not going to hurt me if I can't see it. But the way we train our saddle horses, we train saddle horses first to ride, then drive. I want them aware of what's going on. So I take the blinkers off of our head stalls. Just take them off. And I want those horses aware of what's going on behind them. It's just a matter of preference. Now, what we could also do, so we don't forget, is hook your overcheck up. So he's completely bridled except for your lines. There you go. And that is this ring. There you go.
Perfect.
And what that does is just holds that head up, and then we will tie into his bridle into the bit with the lines. After we're all hooked up there. And that's a process in itself. And then once that's set up and done, then we will pair them together.
Sounds good.
And then their terminology, you would think of this as a team, but it's not. What I'm familiar with is when you have a pair, they're called a pair. If you have three, now you've got a team. And you could have a lead, and there's different configurations. You can have three abreast. It's just two is a pair, and anything above that is a team of whatever. Mm-hmm. And if you had six up, that means you got six animals in front, or three pairs, or three evenly, or you can have six abreast, or you can have three in your two rows, your lead and then wheel team. And the lead team is the front, wheel team is the rear. There's all kinds of terminology for this that we won't even get into, but we'll just kind of touch on it just by talking that much. Done. So, all right, these guys are now ready to pair up. And I think what let's do is we'll pull them in here and put them in front of the camera so we can see how these reins cross.
Okay, great.
The lines cross, and that way we'll put them together in the order in which they have been trained to pull. And Clark here has always been on the left side or near side, and Lewis has been on the right or off side. So we'll bring him in here, swap positions with him, and then put them together. Come on, kid.
Come on, guys.
Okay, so what's interesting about this, and it's
I think we need to be behind the cone for James.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it this way. We're going to come around. There we go. Yeah, we've talked about this, haven't we? So what's interesting about this is we're only going to have 2 lines, a right and a left, but you've got 4 up front. How are we going to put those together? And how can we make those so that when you pull on the right, you're pulling on the right side of this horse and that one?
Yeah.
And that's where we come together with this. So our lines have been put up, and you're going to cross your inside lines. And we kind of have some cheaters here a little bit, which helps. On this line, I'm going to put my outside line on, and we'll go through the rein, tear it. This is that circle that it's tied to is your rein terret on your hames. I'm going to bring that down and put that in the bit and buckle it. All right, he's ready to go on that side. Now this side, I unbuckle and I pull that through this rein terret again. That's where it goes. And then this, we cross. And we cross through these. There you go. And you got a ring. And a lot of times this ring, it just holds them apart, but connected. And sometimes you'll have a big heart here with a bunch of, and these things are called spots, which is just decorative. And they're just pieces of they're not a rivet, but they look like it, just a nice decoration. And you'll have like a big heart here, or a clover, or something decorative. And we just have a ring in this case. So we cross those these, and we'll show what that does. You're tying these guys together now. So now we have a pair, and they are tied up. They are together. Must work together. Must collaborate, and must listen. So as you can see now, see how they're crossed. So when we pull on this rein, on this side, we pull on that side of him, and it also connects to, that'll straighten out when he comes closer together. You'll pull on that rein, we'll pull on that side of him and this side of him so that it pulls her head to the right the same, and the same way on this side. So that's why these cross together. And now we can take these bridles off, or halters off, and we are set up. And I'll just hang here with him, or with them. All right.
Thank you.
So we're almost there. Doesn't take long. And if we weren't explaining this, then it would go a lot quicker too. And the more you do it, the faster it goes, and pretty soon you're doing it just second nature. Okay, so now what we can do is we can either set them over this, and the pull has to go between them. And so we can just back them up. There you go. Grab your lines and see if you can pull these guys.
We'll see if they'll, my amateurness might make this a little difficult.
And there you go, pull them together. Maybe make them go forward just a little bit so that they come together.
Oh, boys.
And there, now stop
and
them.
Ho.
There you go, now back them up.
And back, and back, and back. Come on.
Look at that.
And back.
You can also run one of them forward so he goes over the top of the tongue or the pole.
There we go. Good boy.
There we go.
Of course, Clark's on board here. Lewis is trying not to do any work.
Lewis is saying, you know what? Not my day for this. Let me help you out, and I'll just push him around. Come on, kid.
Oh, good. Easy.
Over. Back up.
Wonderful.
All right, back up, Clark. Back up, Lewis. Over the top of that. And he knows where that yoke is at. There we go. Now, you can see they're alongside of each side of the pole, and this end of this pole or this yoke comes up, and we hook into this part of the saddle. We unhook here. This is called the
I'll do it so that cameras can still see.
There you go. Comes into your rein, or that's ring on your. There we go. And that is the breast strap. You pick that up. That snaps in, and this is a what the heck? Number 21 snap. These are like a 616 or 1616 snap. I mean, there's just weird names.
Okay.
So it's irrelevant.
Don't quiz me on the snap names.
Okay, so you hooked them up. They can pull that a little bit. They can certainly stop, but they can't really pull. There you go. So now you pull your evener up. There you go. We gotta spin around.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think this is. There we go.
There we go. There we go. Spin around. There you got it. And we've got some really quick, some winch snaps to go through there. Works really well. You might have to go the other way.
Yeah, I think you're right.
There you go.
And you have to be smarter than the hardware.
There you go. And so you're hooking in here your heel chain. You take it down with your traces on either side, and that goes through your. And again, different terminology. On the side here, you've got these loops that come down off of your britchin, and some of those are called a lazy strap. We've always just called them a trace loop.
A trace loop?
Or trace hanger. Another terminology. So you just hook them up, and you're always cognizant of the most dangerous place you're at is between them and that cart. Yeah. So you just got to be careful. And she's going to do a great job. And you can adjust. You can do a fine adjustment with, if you'll notice, your fine adjustment is done with your heel chain. There's no buckles on the traces anywhere else on there. It's just set for that length, and then you adjust with your heel chain, and they're right on the ends, are about right. You got some distance there so that your horse in full stride doesn't hit that, and when he backs up, he doesn't hit your single tree or your. And this is actually with an evener. 2 single trees with an evener is called a double tree.
Okay.
So when you think of
still a double tree, but technically 2 single trees with an evener. Okay.
Yep, 2 single trees with an evener is a double tree, and then just individually on their own is just a single tree. So
good.
Yeah, look at that. They are, I think, ready to roll.
Well, if not, we'll find out.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump up in here.
Did you want me to start out as a passenger?
I think I will start as a passenger because you get to do this. Oh,
you will start as a passenger.
I will start as a passenger. All right.
And I didn't have a line hook here, so I just looped them loosely. Is that appropriate?
That works just exactly what you need to do to make that happen. Now, she's got a brake here. I'm not going to control it all because this is Anja's baby. And so, or Anya, sorry. Anja.
Oh, no, you're good.
And so she's got a foot brake here that she can push. And there's different philosophies. Some people like to make these horses ride in the bit. I don't. I like to have my horses respond, whether it is with me on their back or them on in front of something driving. I want a light, loose rein. And that's why I see you're doing that. And I do the same thing, just nice and loose. And you see how Lewis there, yes, just touching his butt a little bit without speeding up Clark.
Yep.
Is making him pull his fair share here. Because you'll notice how his chain on this evener, see how this evener is keeping them both pulling, but he's just pulling a little bit less.
So how would you?
Just what you did, just like that.
Oh, easy.
Get on him, and then there you go. And praise when you're.
Good boys.
There you go.
Good boys.
There you go. Good. You got a nice loose rein on your offside. And when you take a left turn to them, if you really want to talk to them, that's a ha.
Ha.
Ha means left, G means right.
Okay. Ha means left, G means right.
Surprisingly, whoa means stop. Who would have known that?
Would have never guessed that.
But now see how they're pulling evenly together.
Ha. A short ha or a long ha?
Sure. Whatever's appropriate.
Easy, boys, easy.
There you go.
Easy.
And it's really, really hot, so we're just we'll let him trot a little bit so you can feel that. The speed in here is kind of surprising. We'll let him warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it is hot, but you could get these guys conditioned to where they trot a lot. And you'll notice your evener here is keeping your 2 single trees pulling pretty evenly. And notice how he's kind of lazy.
Yep.
And he's not moving that hind end over like Clark is really stepping over with these hinds. And he's just kind of turning and going. So he's being a little lazy about it. There you go. Good job.
You said G? G.
G to the right.
G.
And that's if you, there, now he's doing a little better. See that?
That's why I wanted to get him to the right, so he kind of
yeah.
has to.
Yep. And part of that is the pull causing that too, right? That he's making him push over because he's not just pushing against the trace, which is loose and flexible.
Easy.
Very good.
G.
And you,
Good boys.
and you don't have to. You can. It's up to you. I like to do that when I'm first training, because any command you give, in the round corral, we're clucking them forward.
Yep.
And we're wowing them, and we're easy to slow them down. So anything that you can do to give them verbal direction, and we both, you're verbal like I am.
I'm very verbal.
I like to let them know, hey, G means turn right.
G.
And it never hurts.
G. Good boys.
There you go, and you're always praising them.
Good boys.
Very good. Now, one thing to kind of watch.
This is fun, Brandon.
Isn't this fun? This is just a kick in the pants. Now, one thing I always like to watch, and it's seldom that I get to drive with a pair. It's been a long, long time since I've got to drive with a pair.
There we go.
Ease them up. See how they're starting to take off?
Easy.
Ease them up.
Easy.
And be right on it. There you go.
Easy. There we go.
There you go. Good job.
Boys. Good boys.
Yeah, you got a little bit more assertive there. And it's important to not let them run away, because those guys now they're more in tune with each other than they are with us. So with one escalates speed, the other one will go with them. Yep. So you can have a runaway like that. And for everybody on the camera, I'm not trying to get sweet with Anya. These things are narrow.
G.
So I just got my arm around her here, but here we go. So I'm watching my eveners. I'm watching where their body placement is. And you can also kind of cheat on your yoke up there. See how it's angled? It's going to be angled almost the same as your evener is. Okay. So when that's not straight, now they're even.
Oh boy, easy.
Yeah. So you can kind of give yourself a visual without looking over your dashboard here.
And make sure that Lewis here isn't slacking.
Yes.
And Clark's doing all the work. And easy, boys, easy. Good boys.
You got good control on them.
Boys.
Now, why don't you, as you're going down here, now go ahead and touch your brake a little bit and see what happens very lightly. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it drag.
Oh, yep.
Now see if you can stop them.
I keep wanting to drag that hoe out. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Good boys. Good boys. And should I back them up?
If you want. Let's give it a shot.
Back.
You probably do better than I did.
Back. There we go. Good boys. Back.
And this is there we go. Now he's going to start getting out of the.
No, I'm trying to straighten us out a little bit.
And that's.
Oh no! Woo.
Now I want to show you something. Go ahead and stop right there. Look at. See the angle where it's really clear there. Over here.
I have no room.
You've got no room, so you've got to be very careful that you don't you jackknife these. You can break a wheel. So you want to be very careful. Yeah, because this is not, and I think this is
Suzanne, do you have insurance on the buggy?
I think this is cut so it'll largely miss. Okay. And we may be okay, but I have not seen it. And I probably should have tested this to see just exactly what my radius is and my turn on it. And we'll play with that maybe a little bit in real life here. But
am I okay to walk them forward out of it?
Now walk. That's how you get out of this. You walk forward, even if it's to straighten them out, and then you can continue to back up. That's how you do it when you parallel park, right?
There we go. So you want me to try to back up again, or do you want me to?
Try it. Why not?
Okay.
Good boys.
Good boys. And back. Easy back.
And what you really want to watch is that you're correcting early. Because these things you're turning on a bolster here on the front end, and you will really get out of line very quickly. Good job. You're fixing that. Nice job.
Come on, guys, back. You're okay.
Yeah, Lewis is not cooperating real well.
Yeah, poor Clark is doing all the work.
Clark's doing all the work.
Look at him.
You bet he's talking to him. He's
Clark is yelling at Lewis.
He is.
Good boys. Well, I won't make him back up more than with this key and with Clark being, having to do all the work. I feel bad for him. Good boys.
Now, let's do one thing, just so you can get a feel for the speed. Let's do like one round around here at a trot, and a pretty good trot. Okay. I don't want to overwork them because they are soft and it's hot. Yeah. But I think it's important to feel that what that's like and how this thing it'll get noisy. You'll hear the rhythm of the tongue and your heel chains and everything. You'll hear a rhythm to it as you move, and it's something I never thought of until I really started driving a little bit. Like, oh, it sounds right. right? It's rhythmic and it sounds okay. Or you'll hear something that's like, ooh, something's not right. We got something not adjusted quite right, or he's not pulling like he should, or something like that. So let your ears be your guide as well.
And this is not, with my truck, I just turn the radio louder so I don't hear that.
If I can't hear it, it means I don't have to fix it, right?
I hope my dad's not watching. He would be so upset.
Funny. That's funny.
All right, boys. Let's go.
Good. Very good.
Come on, Lewis.
There we go. There we go. We're going good round, and we'll...
All right. Should I go inside the cones or outside?
Whatever's comfy.
So let's go inside. We're already here.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Good job.
And
And you can roll one of these pretty dang easy, so you want to be careful. Not bad, right?
yeah, this is great. And easy.
There we go.
Easy.
Which you can kind of, I don't know if they can hear that on the camera, but you can hear the movement. And it doesn't sound maladjusted. I mean, you get used to a rhythm of what's there.
And walk easy, boys.
There we go.
Good boys. Oh, all the way down.
Good job.
Easy.
Very good.
Good boys.
Look at him yeah, he needs a little good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to smack you.
No, you didn't. It's my neck now. You've just injured me. I'm kidding.
Easy, boys.
And it takes a little bit more arm strength than you think at times, little guys. And because you've got so much line up there and they're crossed, notice how you're walking your hands up those lines and you're working those lines. And it's just the way it is. So,
and I'll be honest, I haven't quite found the balance with Lewis being lazy. I'll tap him to get him to speed up, but then he starts trotting, and Clark's so responsive that Clark's like, oh, yeah, let's trot.
Yes.
So I'm still figuring out how to push, seeing there Lewis goes again. Easy.
Yep. So what I would do is just exactly, see, it's kind of intuitive because you've got a pair, but you've got two individuals as well, right? And so I would just lightly hold Clark back and then just touch Lewis a little bit, and he's starting to pull into it a little bit. Look at your traces are evenly pulling. You got a good load on both. Your yoke is 90 degrees to your pole or tongue. So yeah, you're looking good.
Come on, Lewis.
And look at him going around now. Well, let's go around the other direction and see if he will lead in the turns now. Because on those turns, he will lag a little bit, and that's not his fault. He's not being lazy. It's just the lag.
And do you want him at a trot or at a walk?
Let's go ahead and start walking him now.
Walk easy. Yeah, it's hot out for you.
It's hot out. I don't want to, but I want you to feel that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm starting to. This is great. I don't know. Suzanne might regret, having you teach me this.
Suzanne might regret me taking these ponies home with me.
And G, good boys. Forgot to give them their oral signal there.
That's
good boys, such good boys.
Look at that head bobs, they're in sync.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yes, and Lewis is pulling a little bit better now. He's slightly lagging, but not as much.
G.
There you go.
G. Good boys.
There you go.
Easy, Clark. G. Easy, Clark. Good boy, Lewis.
Now let's go through and then do a figure 8 around.
Sounds good.
See if you can do that.
And G. G. Good boys. How much room do I got there?
You got lots of room here. There you go.
And ha.
There you go.
Come on, Lewis. Get up there.
Yeah, he's dogging a little, isn't he?
He is.
Taking advantage.
Well, I think he figured out on that turn I can't smack him as easily.
Yeah, that's where this comes in, but we're a long ways from needing that. There you go. Yeah,
good. Boys. Good boys.
Once you get through this, let's go up and let's just make a tight turn so that you can see where that wheel comes.
G.
Nice. Looking and cross over. Nice half pass through there.
Good boys. Good boys.
Now, if you ever get a chance, and I encourage some of the people watching too, there's a lot of videos of a lot of people driving. It's very popular. It's, of course, mostly recreational now. But there are some communities that use it exclusively, like I said before. There used to be the 40 mule borax team.
Yes, I've seen videos of that.
Yeah, and if you watch those mules when they jump the chain, because they have their chain, they'll have a chain in the center. And
so I think I would have had quite a bit more room there too. It looked like, but I don't have that courage quite yet.
Spin them around. Let's go ahead. Go ahead and spin them around, and if you see it get too tight, then just straighten them out. And nice and slow. Just slow them up a little bit to make that turn. There you go. Now just keep them going slow and turn. There you go. See how you're getting a tighter turn?
Yep. And there now it looks like I got a little bit more room.
Speed kills. So slow them up a little bit more.
Easy.
Because what you're doing is you're pushing him on that pole. There you go. Gives him a chance to move.
Easy.
How's you looking on? There you go.
That's about the edge of it. Good boys.
Very good.
Or Gene. You didn't hear that.
I have never made that mistake before. Good. But if you get a chance, go online and look at and watch and maybe Google mules jumping the chain. And what you'll see is those mules, they will watch, and they're so smart. I love mules because they're so much smarter than a horse. You watch them in that turn, when that chain comes up there, they will leap and they'll jump over that chain so that they're all on one side of the chain, which is a replacement for your pole, because you got a lot of animals out there on a big hitch. And so they watch, and as they go into a turn, of course, that chain comes over. They need to jump over the chain, so the chain is on the side of them all. And when it straightens back out, they'll jump back over that chain.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's beautiful. Really, really nice. And I encourage people, really watch that. Look at that. There you go. And how you hold your lines is entirely up to you.
I've been kind of going back and forth between like this and holding like a ride, and I haven't found what's comfortable yet. Is there a right or wrong way?
I don't think there is. I mean, I'm not really that picky about it. I'm not a purist in a lot of things like that. But if I could take them, I'll show you what I like to do is I'll hold them like this,
so you
because
can
then I've got I've got a little bit more grab to it if I need to, and then I can pull easier this way and hold on, and I won't have a rein slip through or a line slip through. This way, a line can slip through.
Watch the cone. Oh, I guess I'm watching the cone.
You're driving, crazy driver. I can wreck us and blame you.
Well, and that's what I was doing, the way I would hold my reins on a gaited horse, you know, because that way I've got that wiggle. I can be real gentle in their mouth.
Yep.
But then when I watch, you know, other people doing it, I see them doing this, so I kept trying to go back to this way, but I think I like this approach better because I have that gentle wiggle.
Yeah, and I like it. It's just as easy to move up your line with that as it is. Yeah, because you can crawl. You see it. You just crawled your way up that line. When you hold it like this, you almost have to have your other hand in there so you can work it up. So try that one time. Put your hands,
like this?
that.
Yeah.
Now,
it's so much harder.
It's harder, and you may almost have to grab with either line and grab your hand. So that's why I like that. And of course, when I ride on a saddle horse, especially when I'm training, my arms are out here. And I'm holding them so that if I have a runaway, all of a sudden, and a horse spooks, I can check them up. And I'm not sitting up here with all this rein or line in this case. And so you can also, nothing slips through your hands. It's almost like going around a hitching post with your line around your hand, and you can grab and you can pull a little better. That's why I like that.
And that's how I ride all my saddle horses, you know, unless I'm one reining. You know, if I'm neck reining, then it's different. But all my saddle horses that I direct rein, this is how I hold my reins all the time.
I do what's comfortable. And what gives you the most advantage for being able to move up and down these lines, and the advantage for being able to hold those lines and not lose them.
All right, boys.
I gotta find... Hey, would you do me a favor and grab that water up there? See up by the curd comb rack?
Back. Come on, boys. Back.
Look at that.
Good boys.
Because I'm talking too much. I'm thirsty.
And who?
And so thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you...
And straighten out. Come on.
We'll have you move or go, and then tell us what you're feeling. As just going through your head. Tell everybody what it feels like, what you're doing, what you aren't sure what's happening. I mean, it's not about criticism or making you look foolish. I think people would like to know what's going through your body, what's going through your mind, and how you think about it. And I'll shut up and let you narrate.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. So for everyone watching, this is my first time in probably 20 years driving a pair. And the big thing I'm still figuring out is how to get them to move in sync with each other, because Lewis here on the right is being a little lazy and hoping Clark does all the work. So I'm still trying to figure out, how much pressure I need on the rein to get them to go basically where I want them to go and to place them where I want to place them. So let's go ahead and do another lap here. Come on, boys. Eat up. And there Lewis is legging right away, so I'm going to tap him. Come on, Lewis. Ha, boys. Come on, Luke. So what I'm doing now here is I'm pulling a little bit back more on Clark to keep him from trotting while I'm trying to tap Lewis. And I'm still figuring out, trying to find that balance. And now Lewis looks like he's actually doing more work than Clark, which I'm okay with for the time being.
Why not? Make him pull his share even if it's after the fact. But I think this is really good because you're continually tapping on him, and he's going to lag on the turn to the left, just like Clark will lag on a turn to the right. But you're continually making him work, and I think that's a really good job. Really good for you to bring that up and talk about that.
And so my thinking now is I'm going to, easy boys, walk easy. I'm going to change direction here to see if I can get Lewis to work a little harder if he's on the inside. G. Good boys. Good boys. Yep, so Lewis now, because he's on the inside, he was kind of forced to move a little bit more. He's lagging again a little bit, so I'm going to smack him.
Did you notice one thing? He was on the inside, but he was about even with him. He wasn't ahead of him.
Yep, no, he wasn't.
So he's still dogging it just a tiny little bit.
And to the point where his head was almost on Clark's neck there, just, trying to have Clark pull all the weight here.
There you go. That's better. So now he's pulling it. You give him a little good job. Feed him a little bit.
Good. Good boys. Good boys. All right, G boys, we're gonna see if we can turn them all the way through here. Let me shorten up my reins. How's my wheel there?
Oh, you're looking really good.
And ha. And there Lewis is slacking. Get up, Lewis.
I think always remember the tighter the turn, the slower the speed.
Okay.
And you'll get a tighter turn, and it doesn't make them push against that pole quite as much or as hard. Because they're not going as forward as much, they're just side passing. Good job. Very good.
Good boys. Good boys. Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking? I don't want to work them too hard here since yesterday and today were their first time really doing this.
Let's just give them a couple more rounds.
Okay.
And let's call it a day. I mean, it's not much, but it is warm out here. Mm-hmm. And it's, we're at 90 or better in Fahrenheit degrees, and I don't care. It's still hot. Mm-hmm. We got a nice little breeze, but we don't want to overwork them. Don't want them to not like it.
Absolutely.
And we don't want you to wear out, but we could do this all day long. I don't know about you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
How do you feel about, I wonder if we could take them out. Where can we go? On one last little trip out? Can we get out of here and go somewhere?
Yeah, we can go straight across into that pasture over there. We'll maneuver our way around the irrigation.
Let's do that. Let's maneuver around that. Just give them something to do and then come back in and call it good.
I think that sounds great. All right, Kaylin, let's do this gate right here. We'll go into the north pasture and I'm going to get used to just how much they need to be stopped.
There's a lot more line needs to be taken up on these guys.
All right. Poor Clark doing all the work.
He says, I hate Lewis. Now we're outside of a contained area, and anything, just like on a saddle horse, anything can happen.
Yep.
Things jump out, and they both will spook. With one spooks, the other one will follow, because that's how they survive. They trust each other to where, okay, this is bad news. Something's going to eat me. I need to pay attention.
And Kaylin, could you get the gate straight across to that one? I'm sorry. Bossing your son around.
better than me doing it.
Well, he's in the military. He's probably a little used to it.
He's
Though I guess he's an officer.
He's an officer.
Yep.
Yeah, we got Captain Clark, Captain Lewis, and Captain Carpenter. So,
Major Anya.
I thought you were a general.
I like that even better. What am I, a 3-star general?
You could be that if you want.
Now I'm getting greedy.
There you go.
Thank you, Kalen. Yeah. Oh, I guess there's more irrigation here than I thought, but that's okay.
All right,
we can do a little.
We won't go across.
Little loop-de-loop and come back.
Yeah, we'll just have to go up, make just kind of a U-turn. Right? Yeah, I like it.
Oh, I should have had done it the other way. Poor Clark.
Well, it's okay because you can follow this around and around. And
yep. Yeah, actually worked out better.
Yeah.
Gee.
We get more time on the buggy that way. And see, now look at their ears.
They're looking now. They're attentive.
They're attentive. They're much more than inside that arena where it's.
We just changed the whole ball game.
Yes.
Now, if we got real brave, we could squeeze through that. Yeah, I think that might be too tight.
Yeah,
what do you
let's
think?
not. Well, we could do it on the way back. We could, but let's go over that. You're not going to hurt
the orange one.
The orange pipe. I don't think you're going to hurt that, are you?
I think it's just a hose.
Yeah. I think it's high pressure stuff, and this is light. So let's go over it. They should go over it. Shouldn't be an issue because we were going over sticks.
Yeah.
In the arena yesterday. Kaylin was taking them over that.
Good boys. Easy, Clark.
That Lewis is a shyster.
Oh, he is. He's a freeloader. He's along for the ride without doing the work.
They step right over that.
Good boys.
Good deal.
Good boys. I'm going to cut this a little tight so that after this here, Lewis is on the inside and has to do some work.
There you go. Yeah, then pop him up. Pull Clark back. There you go. Right. Yep. Yeah, you don't want to crash into that. There we go. Good job. Good save.
I'm surprised you weren't nervous. Were you nervous? You hit it well. You hit it well.
What are you going to do? You're just going to come to a stop and hopefully not break a bunch of stuff.
The first and last day that you met Anya at Dunrovin Ranch.
She was a good employee for a short period of time until she wasn't.
It's the teacher's fault. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. The responsibility lies there, doesn't it?
As an educator, I learned that real quick.
Yes. Yeah, you are the fail-safe and the one that is responsible for all that goes wrong. The student is always the one who does it right. Mm-hmm. There you go. Good job pushing him up there. Good job.
Thank you. Good boys. Easy. No, it's too hot to trot. Well, that rhymed.
Look how quiet this is now.
Oh, I love it. This is peaceful.
Yeah, it is.
Just walk.
It's peaceful as long as things are going well and it's not bits of terror, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. It's a good thing I keep a level head in a dire situation.
There you go. That's how you keep it from getting out of hand any more than it needs to.
Yeah, we had Mystery got tangled up in wire, got wrapped all around his back leg while I was guiding a ride of about 5 people.
Oh, jeez.
And he had a little meltdown. Actually, he had a lot of a meltdown. And, like we talked about earlier, I just let my energy drop. I collapsed into myself and acted like nothing was going on. And he settled after a little bit.
He was overreacting.
Oh, he thought, he was getting eaten alive by that wire.
Oh, yeah. Any excuse. Look at that. These guys take that right in stride. They looked at it, but did not even respond. Just something I got to step over. Very good.
Boys. Easy now.
And always to begin with, Anya, take the wide turns because you're going to get more skilled at your turns later on where you can take something pretty tight. And I do it for myself because you don't do this every day.
So is that not wide enough?
No, you're perfect. Okay. I just didn't want you to come up.
No, I was not planning on it. Yeah. I do not have that level of experience.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. And you will get there.
Well, thank you. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah. It's just a matter of what's familiar and how much I can do. And it's just about practicing and knowing your limitations. So, very good.
Oh, and I'll be the first one to admit when I don't have the skill for something. And this is something that's new to me. So.
Well, and you know what? Putting ego aside, I always talk about that. We always like somebody to think, hey, they really know what they're doing. And we would like to think that too. But you know what? It's better to be cautious and do it right than be proven what kind of a fool you really are, you know?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
And foolishness is very common when you are trying to show off. So, yeah, there's no shame in this, and I am very rusty at this. I am not doing this every day. So,
Brandon, it
for me
didn't
as well.
show at all. You're an excellent instructor. I appreciate
good.
it.
Well, thanks. See, we just pay each other the same $50 bill going back and forth to talk nice about each other, right? That thing's going to get wore out doing that.
Well, I mean, if you want the compliments to keep coming, that $50 is going to turn into $100 pretty
There you
soon.
go. Somebody's got to up the ante a little bit.
Come on, Lulu. Come on, Lulu.
Yeah, look at that. Clark is getting a little bit irritated with him.
Oh, yeah, I can see him. Every once in a while, he reaches over and tries to nip him a little bit
Yep.
to tell him to get going.
Hurry up, move up. Yep.
Get.
There we go. Good job. Good correction.
Don't slack just because we're in a turn. That was not a very crisp turn, excuse me.
It works. I wasn't looking for crisp. I didn't expect it until you mentioned I didn't think you were doing anything different.
And ho. And ho.
Very good.
Good boys.
Very good.
Good boys.
So now what we're going to do is I would suggest this, because now we've got a long ways to go from here to there.
Drive them over there?
Nope. We're going to unhook. Well, you will, but you're going to unhook on your traces, take them off, and you'll set them up with your heel chains up into your hangers, and then we'll just unhook your yoke, and then you get close, throw that excess over your shoulder, and then you've probably seen your sister, your brother, or dad driving them. Just throw that over your shoulder and drive them right over where we need to be, and then we'll take the ring off or the crossover, and we'll be good to go.
That sounds perfect. Thank you, Brandon.
You bet. And I'll do this side just to help you out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Actually, this is self-serving because this gets us out of the heat quicker, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. It's a hot one.
It's warm. All right. Good to go. There you go.
All right, boys. Oh, Clark's not
He's
looking
like, that
where
was
he's
supposed to
going.
move with me. And when you're training, this is how you would do this to begin with. When you're going to drive a horse, drive them as a pair like this. This is exactly what you do before you ever hook them up, so that you make sure that you can control them as a pair. It's a little tougher, and sometimes what I have done is I've connected them with
On
a
the
breakaway
back,
on the
too.
back so that they don't come apart on the sides of my britchin. On these britchin rings, I'll just take a piece of twine, something that will break easily, not like the poly twine, or just enough that they can feel the pressure. It's not going to break easily, but it will still pull apart.
Yeah, if something,
Yeah, so that makes them learn that they have got to keep themselves together and working as a pair.
Easy now.
All right.
All right, great.
You know what I would do if I was you?
I'm going to move them right into the shade.
I would move them right into the shade, exactly, and then we'll untack there. All right,
Thank
you
you,
guys.
everyone, for watching.
Hope you enjoyed.
Ha.